Udah. Hello everybody, my name is Devon Johanda and I am from Bopri 2 Senior High School. In this occasion, I'm going to tell you about traditional games. Traditional games are those games that have been inherited from generation to generation in many different cultures and societies that we must preserve. Traditional games in general gives you a lot of benefits, such as many social values, many educational values, entertainment values, and many more. Traditional games has been started to be forgotten because of the growth of technology and information in our culture. So, it is our duty as young generations to stand up and start to preserve our own unique and special cultures. One of the games that I'm going to explain to you today is called Engklek. Engklek originates from the Greek, which from the Greek was inherited to many different European countries. From Europe, especially from the Dutch, it then was inherited to Indonesia. In Indonesia, we have many different cultures, and with that different cultures, we adopted this game and gave it many different names, many different rules, and many different philosophies. So, the game that I'm going to explain to you today originated from Java, which is Engklek. From the Indonesian dictionary, it translates to one leg or to stand on one leg, which references to how we play the game. This game has a very unique meaning or philosophy. In Java, it symbolizes a man's journey to reach success, in which every square of the court symbolizes the steps of life, in which when we step on the steps, we cannot break the rules like taking shortcuts and other things that can break your chances of success. So now I'm going to explain to you the instructions on how to play the game and also explain to you the medias of which we will play the game on. Let's go! So the medias used to play Engklek is a gachuk and a court. A gachuk can be anything that is small, flat, and throwable, such as a roof tile. We can also use a rock or a floor tile maybe. The most important thing is that it is flat. Why do we have to use flat small objects? Because when we use something flat and we throw it, it will likely not bounce and we can throw more accurately with the small object. If we have something that is jagged and round, it will likely bounce or roll when we throw it, and it is less accurate when we throw it. And the second most important thing is a court. A court can usually consist of 8 squares and a half circle. This is the most basic shape that we use to play Engklek. You can also make many more formation and use many different shapes of Engklek squares that you can use freely according to your imagination and creativity. So this is how we must play the game. Before playing the game, we must first make an order of which player can go first, second, third, and so on. And in order to make that order, we can play maybe like rock, paper, scissors, and maybe other small elimination games to choose the first, second, third player on which to play the game. So, the first player must first throw his or her gachuk into the first square, just like that. And they cannot step on the square that is marked with a gachuk. He or she must then go through the course and back, and before going back to the start, they must first pick up the gachuk and then finish their first course. So I'm going to show you the example of it. Before finishing, pick up the gachuk and then go back to start. The player must then go and throw their gachuk into the second square, which I failed miserably. Like that. You must not throw the gachuk outside of the court or on the line. You must also not step on the line or outside the court, which then I will continue my game. And then pick up the gachuk again and finish the course without stepping on the marked square. This pattern then will continue and repeat until all the squares are finished. And if done correctly, you can then claim a square to yourself as 1 point for 1 square. But in order to claim the square, you must then throw the gachuk in a certain way, that is, backwards. You must face the opposite direction of the court. So, you need to throw it backwards, not forwards, which I will try. So here I go. Okay, as you can see, I throw it into the third square. So then, this third square is now mine and will be marked with maybe my symbol, an X maybe. So this square will now be mine and cannot be stepped on by other players and can only be stepped on by me. So that is 1 point. And then I need to go through the course again and finish it again, and then in order to claim the second square, which is the second point. But after finishing the first course like this, you need to then give up your turn to the other players. And if you also break any rules like stepping on the line or stepping outside the line, throwing the gachuk outside the line or on the line, you need then to end your turn and give it to the next player. So that's how we play Engklek, basically. So that's how we must play Engklek, and that's all the instruction I have for you. Thank you for listening. Engklek was one of the most important and most popular game of its time, but now it has been rarely played at all. So, in order to preserve this piece of culture, we can make competition and tournaments in many cultural festivals, school festivals, and maybe Independence Day competitions. We can also make more permanent courts in public places such as parks and school grounds. And that is all. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.